Hi everyone, this is Mr. Liao. Okay, I'm going to go through this practice 2, which we started yesterday, and we are going to continue with this. We have looked at the questions already. Remember what I told you about comprehension is that we start off with the questions first. Let's look at the questions, look at the key points that we're looking out for, and before we read the passage. Okay, so we've done that already in class, and we actually wrote down the key ideas of each paragraph. So what we have done here also, we just label it P1 for paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, and paragraph 4. And remember the side here, these numbers here, it represents the line number. So we start from line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth, all the way 10, 20, and 1, 22, 23. Okay, so these are things to look out for when you're tackling or rather when you're approaching your comprehension passage. Okay, so I'm going to go through the answers for this paper, this passage. Okay, for 39, okay, in the first paragraph, so we've highlighted, we're looking in the first paragraph, Veronica's mother reminded her to be home by what time? So it is by 9 p.m. Okay, so where do we find the answer? Have you highlighted this in your answer? Be home by 9 p.m. So this is what I've done. I've written down 39 and I've circled this to tell me this is where I found my answer. Okay, 40. Choose one word in paragraph 2 that has the same meaning as dark. So in paragraph 2, let's look at paragraph 2, paragraph 1, paragraph 2. And this is where I found my answer. As she was alone on the dim and deserted alley. So dim, highlighted this. This is my answer for question 40. Okay, next. 41. Someone called Veronica's name when she was at the alley. So we are so now it didn't mention which paragraph this part was mentioned. Okay, so let's look in our text whether someone called. So this is where we find, or rather where we can find it being mentioned. So this is line 10, line 8. Line 8. When she heard someone calling out for her. So I've linked here to the alley. She heard someone calling to her. Is that true? Yes. Okay, put a tick. 42. She kept looking back as she was running. Is that true? So look at, she did not dare look back until she reached her block. So this is where I found for 42. She did not dare to look. So she did not keep looking. So in fact, she kept looking back. This part, right, this is false. So this tells me that this is not true. Okay, so I put a tick under the false column. 43. Veronica knew that her mother was coming to fetch her. Did she know? Okay, let's see. Mom, I'm home. Realized that her mother was not at home. So she was expecting her mom, but her mom was not at home. So this is where I find my answer for question 43. Alright, so she did not know. So in fact, I will just underline this part. This is the part that is false. Okay, and I put a tick here to tell, and this is to tell myself that this statement is false. Okay, so this, and you remember in class I've taught you also, for each of these statements, what you can do is that you can also phrase it as a question. Okay, have you done that? So for example, 41, I would say someone called Veronica's name while she was at the alley. So how would I phrase this as a question? Did someone call Veronica's name while she was at the alley? Or did someone call her name at the alley, or was it some other places? Okay, so this one way to help me look for the answer when I'm checking whether it is a true or false statement. Okay, 44. Silence was broken. What does this phrase in paragraph 2, okay, tell you about the alley? So my focus is on the alley. Okay, it's not about the silence. Okay, so in this case, the alley, how will you describe it? It was quiet. Or you can say that it was no longer quiet if you are referring to the silence was broken. Okay, so it was a quiet place, yes, but because it was no longer, the silence was broken means that it was no longer quiet. So that's why both of these answers are acceptable. Or if you want to write it became noisy, it is still acceptable, but was it really noisy? It was just they could only, or rather she could only hear the mother calling her, right? So that isn't exactly noisy, but I thought, okay, it is not quiet, it's noisy. Fair enough, I'll give you the mark. Or, in fact, I like this last answer the best. It was no longer quiet because of someone's voice. So it's very precise. Why? The alley, okay, what was it like? It was no longer quiet because of someone's voice. Okay, if some of you have written, it used to be quiet, but it was no longer quiet because of someone's voice, that's also accurate. All right. Okay, moving on to the next page. Why did she panic and start running home? Okay, she heard someone calling out for her, but when she turned around, she could not see anyone. Okay, let's take a look here. This part. She heard someone, okay, but could not see anyone as it was too dark to see clearly. Okay, so the main thing why she started running is that someone was calling out for her. Okay, if you have written this as part of your answer, the underline part, right, you get a 1 mark. But I thought it's more accurate, or rather it's more complete if you mention, but when she turned around she could not see anyone, so she was scared. Okay, that's why she started running. Okay, so for 46, why? Again, we are looking for reason. Her mother was panting as she reached home. I underline the word panting. What caused it? Okay, so she was trying to catch up with Veronica. So we know that from the text. Why was she panting? She was trying to catch her breath. So I draw an arrow here to make the link here to 46. So she was running after, or you can also say that she was chasing after Veronica, or you can also say she was trying to catch up with Veronica. Okay, either one of these 3 answers, 1, 2, 3, is acceptable. If you just written one of them, it's fine, you get a 1 mark. Okay, 47. Last paragraph, the mother hugged her, is that she was relieved that her daughter was safe. Okay, it's not about the daughter reaching home on time. Okay, she was just glad that she didn't get into trouble, because she actually warned her, hey, don't take this shortcut again. All right, so 48, the sequence. The first one is mother reminded Veronica not to be late. 2, mother was waiting for Veronica near Beverly's house. And 3, mother explained the danger of taking shortcuts. Okay, quite a straightforward comprehension passage. And the main thing what I've done here is that I always refer back to my text to check for the clues for my answers, and then I highlight them, and then I will indicate by writing the question number there. Okay, it's always important when you look for the part where it's mentioned when you're referring to your question to check, to read the sentence before and after. So for example, like this example, right, we have to look, after panting, maybe that 1 or 2 sentences. Why was she panting? Oh, she was trying to catch her breath. So this is what we mean by reading in context. So it means that you read the sentences before and after to find your answers. All right, okay, I hope you have managed to complete this well. Okay, if you're not too sure of this, of any of these, you can just drop me a message. Okay, if not, all the best for your paper on Monday.